Hi, my name is Jean Marie Prince. Inspired Blessings, led by God to inspire the world with love, faith, and hope. And I want to thank you for joining me on the journey today. And this is the 6th video. And I wanted to address a topic, I guess maybe because the events of what happened this week. We know that in September 11th of 2001, we had a tragedy in our nation. And I was actually going to address this and I was going to do it in September, with the 10th year anniversary. But I just thought this week being the event of, the person who was involved and what had happened to him as well. And I just wanted to kind of, as everybody's now remembering again the events of September 11th, I thought I would kind of show it, do a video at this point time, and then this one I would just again replay it in September. So what I do is I write stories in the book. All right, I have probably close to 15, I'm not even sure these days, of how many people I've interviewed with different circumstances in their lives and how God has blessed them, or how, the struggles and so on. And so with the events of September 11th, I actually had interviewed 2 people. One is a retired captain and how his life was spared and the events that came across, with that. And but it also talks about his experience in being a fireman and how dangerous it really is, and we all take it for granted, but it is very dangerous. And why do they do it? Because they want to save people's lives like us. And so we just have to be very thankful and not to just take their job lightly. And also then there's a volunteer fireman. He had saved over 40 people on September 11th, along with 2 EMS people that helped him. And so I haven't, I interviewed him. I can't wait to write a story. It's very action-packed is all I can say. But I just also, right in here is, again, I take over the 100 inspirations God has blessed me with, and I put over 40 in here. And I kind of, write maybe what the circumstances that might have led me to write it, or who the person that might have led me to write it, and so on. But definitely all this is inspired from God. And so I kind of give a little take of how I saw the events of September 11th. And I'll just share you just a little part of it. And then I'll read you the inspiration of tragedy in our nation, and also the fireman saying as well. Okay? It was happening right before my eyes. How could this be happening? How could a plane, let alone 2 planes, be allowed to get so close to these buildings? Whatever my thoughts were, it didn't matter to the loved ones that just lost their lives. I cannot imagine the thoughts that must have been running through the minds of these families. My heart goes out to them for the loss of life that was snatched away in an instant. As we know, many more lives were lost that day, making it a tragedy in our nation. And so, of course, I got more things that are written and so on, but what I'll do is I'll kind of address with this inspiration. And this inspiration, I was inspired to write it like a couple of weeks after it had happened. And then the following week I did a craft show, and I had some people buy it, and just kind of, one was a grandmother who had bought it for their grandson so they would remember that event. And also, one was a news person, he worked for the news, and another one was I think he said he was either a fireman or a policeman. So it's something that they wanted to have as a remembrance. And it's called Tragedy in Our Nation. Tragedy has struck our nation, the United States of America. It has made our hearts crush with pain and sorrow beyond belief. Now realizing the impact of it is more than a terrible nightmare. That has become a reality for all of us in our beautiful land. Imprinted in our thoughts is the devastation and suffering, and the loss of life that we grieve will never be forgotten. We always knew that the world we live in is not perfect, but we felt safe and at peace in our country. Then evil decided to snatch that away from us, leaving us with the uncertainty for the days to come. But one thing is for sure, God is here to help us sort our emotions on a daily basis. We can choose to be mad at God for what has happened, or realize that God gives us all the choice of right or wrong. Evil always chooses to do wrong by taking the good down. So let us pray to God to help us get through this crisis, giving us hope in this dark time that our nation is facing, by being the light that shines in everyone's souls. We have seen that light poured onto others, from rescuers and civilians. This light has united our country into a stronger nation by not letting evil overpower us and joining us together to defeat it. In the most amazing ways, God has shown us how love can bring a nation together so we can start to heal. And I also want to address, the firemen, the 343 firemen that lost their lives that day, and so many all at once. That's a devastation. Our firemen. When we think of a fireman, we think of the risk involved with his job, from the first emergency call he receives to getting on his gear as fast as possible, knowing that every minute counts in saving a life, to jumping in a fire truck with sirens wailing while his heart is pumping so many beats per minute, and now he's ready to go and save a life while risking his. Why is it that a fireman is willing to put himself at risk? Possibly to give a person another chance at life, to let them grow up and be all that they can be, to let them appreciate life in a more abundant way. Can you think of more important reasons than these? Thank you for being our guardian angel in the flesh, for caring about us, even though you never met us. They are ready and able to save our lives at any time. So God, please protect our firemen. And so I just, again, we take the firemen for granted, but they're going into fires where people are burning, and to try to get them out before that happens. So I just want to thank them and what they did for us, and what they continually do for us. And with Inspired Blessings, the way I like to think about it is, it's a book of substance. It's a book that when you're done reading it, it's not something that you're going to just want to pass it to somebody else to read, because it's something that you want to always keep on your end table, to be there when there's trials and devastating things that happen in your life, that hopefully it'll get, as my tagline says, keep Inspired Blessings within arm's reach to give you comfort when others are lost for words. So I thank you for joining me today, and I will hope to see you, or hope that you'll enjoy the next video as well. And God bless.